What's up, guys? We're here at AMC Town Square with Chasing Cinema.
Mr. James Shoe.com,
and we're here to see, can Netflix take over the world and destroy movie theaters with
Roma. But luckily, being the movie lovers that they are, Netflix and Alfonso Cuarón, the director of this film, are making sure that Roma is playing in a lot of theaters across the country and across the world. So, while it is available on your Netflix streaming website, and if you've not heard of it, I'd argue to give it a chance. There are plenty of other places to see it as well. So if you don't have a Netflix subscription, you can see it in some theaters. I don't know, which I probably should if it's playing locally. I don't think it is. I think you're going to have to be resorted to play Netflix. But we do have fans from across the country. So we want to kind of talk about the movies that even aren't opening in our theaters. Do you know, let me just quickly ask you, do you know anything about Roma?
I know, all I know is people are hyped up about it, and people are talking about potential Best Picture, and then people are talking that if this movie can win an Oscar for a serious Oscar award, like a Best Picture, then that will open the floodgates of people's belief on Netflix and all that stuff. So,
I didn't know much about Roma either going into it, but I know this is a passion project for Alfonso Cuarón, the guy who wrote Gravity, a very, very talented filmmaker.
Did he win an Oscar for Gravity? I forgot.
I don't believe he won. I don't believe he won directing for Gravity. I could be wrong, but stranger things have happened.
Netflix is Stranger Things.
Yeah. See. But I will say this: I am a part of the Las Vegas Film Critics Society. If you didn't know, go check out that website because we just released our top 10 and our awards. And Roma took Best Picture, multiple other awards, and #1 on our top 10 list. That is a group vote, so it doesn't necessarily mean that it was my favorite movie of the year. However, I do think it belongs in the award category for sure.
Did you watch this on Netflix or a screener?
I watched this in a theater. It was very important to the filmmakers that we watched this movie in a movie theater, and it was a very big deal, bigger deal than normal. Obviously, Netflix is trying to work their way into the Oscar picture, like you said, and I think Roma has potential to win a few awards. What I'm most interested in is if Roma will only be nominated as a Best Picture nominee, because if it one or the other, it will be nominated. I can tell you that. Roma is good enough to be nominated for multiple categories, and I tell you, just the way that the flow of how critics are receiving this movie, for sure will be in nominations. My question is if it will be nominated under a foreign category and Best Picture, or strictly Best Picture. That's what it'll be interesting, because if it gets nominated into
the movie's not in English?
It's a Mexican film.
Oh, okay.
Mexico. It would be Mexico's submission for the foreign film category. It would win foreign picture. I have no doubt, because it's got so much love.
That's not the one they want,
It's got the popularity. That's not the one they want. They probably want Best Picture, and I'm not sure how they're going to go about that. I will tell you this film will probably win Best Cinematography, and I don't have much doubt in my mind about that.
Beautiful film.
Beautiful looking film. Very much a homage to Woody Allen's Interiors.
Oh, I never saw that movie.
I know. But if you've seen Woody Allen's Interiors, you know that movie is a huge homage to Ingmar Bergman's Wild Strawberries.
Oh my gosh!
Foreign film, which I would never expect you to see.
Wild Strawberries.
And Night and Fog and all of his
Night and Fog, yes.
Basically, when you're going into this movie, expect a lot of long shots of still imagery. I think the opening credits of the movie is probably about 3 minutes long. And all it is you seeing water being thrown on soapy water being thrown on the floor and being dragged back into a drain. So, I mean, like, that's the kind of world we're getting into here. It is a very artistic film.
This is black and white?
This is black and white. Okay. But also an artistic film that feels the need to focus on some kind of controversial things, like dog poop. I mean, there are a few close-ups of dog poop in the movie that feel kind of, anyway.
What?
There are. Like, it's a very artistic movie that tends to not be afraid to look at the beautiful looking things in black and white. But
I hate cleaning up dog poop, man. I've been doing that.
But I will say this: like, this is a very strong competitor for all the technical components at the Oscars. Watching this movie, I enjoyed it. I did not love it. I would not say that it was one of my favorite movies of the year, and I say that with kind of a bummer, because I could tell the reaction from most critics, the reaction from the critics' societies right now, that this is going to be a movie that they kind of champion. And I think it deserves it because there is some really great heartfelt storytelling in it. The problem is I didn't find myself super emotionally invested in these characters. Roma pretty much revolves around a particular nanny of a family in the 70s in Mexico, and just kind of what things she has to deal with. In the first half of the movie, not much happens. It's a lot of just kind of observing of this movie, and then the second half of the movie, tons of things happen. And one of the most...
Rated R?
I would imagine.
Okay.
One of the most heartbreaking, gut-wrenching scenes I've seen all year happens in this movie. It's quite heartbreaking and sad. It's definitely had the elements of a movie-going experience that you want, but walking out of it, I didn't feel that profound movement that so many other people are writing about. So maybe you will have this reaction, so that's why I would recommend you watching it, unless you just automatically know this is not something for you. But even if you would say that, I would tell you to jump out of your comfort zone, see a foreign language movie, see a movie in black and white, see a movie from another country, and just see where it goes. But this movie does ask a lot of its audience. It is more of the artistic. There's a part at the beach, and of course we have a few minute shot of the waves, and it's a lot of just kind of watching and observing, and I think that's kind of intentional for Alfonso. But he has a great shot at best. If he didn't win for Gravity, or even if he did, he has a great shot for Best Director this year. I would think all technical categories it's gonna sweep. I don't think it'll win Best Picture. But it might. But I'm going to say that right now. It's still a little bit early. We don't even know nominations yet. But I would predict that this is the movie that sweeps all the other awards but doesn't win Best Picture, which has been a common thread lately at the Oscars. They're willing to give all these particular movies these awards. Like last year was, what was the... Dark Knight, right? Christopher Nolan's movie. Dunkirk.
Dunkirk, yes, sorry.
Dunkirk. Interstellar, taking perspective.
Yeah.
Dunkirk won a ton of technical awards, but didn't win Best Picture. And I think it's going to have a Dunkirk time at the Oscars. Good performances. I think the action in the movie is very good, very moving. I didn't get, it was like when have you ever been to a restaurant that everyone raves about and you're like, okay, yeah, it was good.
All the time.
Yeah, that's how it feels. That doesn't mean you shouldn't try it or shouldn't experience it, but but if this movie is playing in a theater near you, it's definitely beautiful enough that I'd recommend you seeing it in a theater. If your only option is Netflix, then please give it your undivided attention. I know we're used to watching...
Well, especially if this is in Spanish, I have to I can't be doing other stuff in the background.
No, but there's not a lot of talking, at least in the beginning.
All the stuff you say, black and white, it's in another language. The minute on a dog poop.
There's not minute on a dog poop, but there are more, for this kind of movie, there are more close-ups of dog poop than you'd expect. I will just say that. I just thought it was really funny.
Do you mean actual
physical dog poop?
Okay,
yeah.
yes.
And I don't mean that to be like, oh, you shouldn't show dog poop. But it's just so funny that this movie is so beautifully artistic in one sense, but yet there are multiple close-up shots of dog poop. It's just it's an interesting choice. Direction, I think, honestly, like I said, technically this movie is really outstanding and deserves all the praise that it's getting.
This is how a movie should be made.
As far as a movie that touched me and moved me, it didn't hit me in all the right spots. So maybe Aquaman did, maybe Mary Poppins Returns did. Make sure to go check out our reviews, the other movies that we reviewed this week. But yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You think I'll like it?
No. Okay. But I think you should give it a chance because that's my philosophy.
Maybe I can watch it this weekend.
Yeah, do it. Just see what happens.
Yeah.
Maybe Roma's your favorite movie and you didn't even know it.
Exactly.
Dang.
Happens all the time.
It really does.
This is our last movie of the year.
It's a bummer.
We're going to do a recap of our top 10 favorite films of the year.
Yes.
That goes live on
January 1st. We usually release it the day of the new year. We want to start the year off by looking back at the old year and looking forward to the new year. We're going to be back here doing 50 weeks.
2019, I'm so excited.
At least 50 weeks here at AMC Town Square on Thursday nights. There might be some more reviews coming on our channel for some stuff that slipped through the cracks and I'm just catching up on, so make sure to keep an eye out for that. There are probably a few movies that I'll be reviewing in the next week, but it'll probably just be solo. But make sure to check out Chasing Cinema. We always have a ton of great stuff. Next year, we're going to be making some moves also, doing some things a little bit differently. But I'm excited to
channels
sell that.
coming out, right?
New channels coming out. Yeah, we have a lot going on next year.
Yeah, you're going to be putting that together. I'm very excited to
Yes. Eventually get there.
dive into that realm. That's going to be exciting.
But we're going to be hoping to do some fun stuff with Chasing Cinema too, and make things more enjoyable for you guys, give you guys more of an experience. So.
Love it all.
Happy New Year's.
Be safe on the holidays.
Yes, happy holidays, happy New Year's. Same for you too.
Go to the theater and just enjoy yourself.
As much as I'm not a fan of you, I want you to be safe and have a good time.
Oh, I appreciate that, sir.
Good, sir.
Idiot. Chasing just graduated, so chasingcinema.com is known as
The Film Lovers website.